Welcome to Professor Russell Esposito's channel on information security. This video is just one of many video modules that are part of Professor Esposito's course on the subject. Video modules for his entire information security course are located on this channel. So remember to hit the like button as well as subscribe if you enjoy the video. Thank you for watching.
In this module, let's look at Cisco. They have two built-in security products, one called Network Foundation Protection, NFP, and the other called AutoSecure. So Cisco looks at three different data planes, three different planes in the network that transmit or transport data through the network. So there's the data plane, the control plane, and the management plane. The data plane essentially just forwards data through. There's a little video that helps, I think, as well, in addition to this presentation. You might want to look at that also. But the data plane just sort of lets data pass through the device. It can examine it to some extent, but it's really just passing through that device. The control plane is data meant for that device. That's meant to control that device. That's meant for that device to do something, to route and to do something more instructional with that data that's coming through. And the third plane is called the management plane. And that plane is where network managers use various protocols and tools to help assess the health of the network and manage the network, look at what the memory capacity might be, or memory utilization in various devices, and ensure that the network is healthy. So here's a little more detail on these three different planes. So the data plane essentially forwards data, but it's examining the data as it's passing through it. It's looking at the traffic, really. It's not really looking at the data in the data packets. It's examining the traffic. It's looking for abnormalities or some sort of issue that might look like there's an attack or something unhealthy going on. But it's essentially forwarding the data through another device to another device. The control plane routes the data, so it's looking at addressing, it's looking at what it has to do with that packet of information. It has instructions for that device. And there are ACLs. If you look at the middle of the screen here in the blue, it says receive ACLs. ACLs are access control lists. They could be in network devices, they could be in firewalls, and essentially they're sort of like white lists. They're lists that allow things through. So the control plane is really looking for instructions for itself in terms of what to do with the data it's seeing. And the final plane is the network management plane, which really allows the network managers to run protocols at that management plane level to examine the network, to look at the quality of service, to look at the various levels of memory utilization, CPU utilization, those kinds of things. So I don't want you to be an expert in these three planes, but you should have an understanding what these three planes are and at a high level what they do and know they exist. The other product that Cisco uses to secure a network is called AutoSecure. So essentially, when you receive a Cisco device, it's wide open, has all the capabilities ready for use. It doesn't want to limit your understanding of what the device can do. But on the other hand, most of the functions for the device, you're using the device for a specific purpose. So a lot of the functionality you'll want to shut off. And the rule, if you're not using it, shut it off. It just shuts down attack vectors and opportunities for a hacker. So what AutoSecure does is it automatically shuts down the less typically used features and functions. So it quickly shuts down a number of things just by running AutoSecure. You don't have to manually shut down all these different services. Of course, if it shuts down a service you want, you turn that exception back on. That one thing that got turned off in the group of items that were shut off. But it's faster, it's easier to secure a device this way. So it disables the non-essential services for that device, not essential for the purpose of how you're using that device. Again, Cisco and all these vendors want to give you a product that shows you all the robustness, all the features and functionalities so that you know what the possibilities are, but you're not going to use all of these for every occasion for how you implement the device on your network. So it also enables some services to help you defend the network automatically. And in the second bullet, you see the word harden. Again, this is the term hardening a device. hardened security configuration. So you're locking down a lot of the things you're not using, and you're enabling a few things that you can use to add some defense to your network. And it can all be turned on with command line input, CLI. That's the third bullet here. CLI input sort of looks like, you know, the text commands that you type in. Simple to use, simple to turn on, and you could also turn on syslog messages that are generated, for example, unsuccessful login attempts. So AutoSecure lets you do a few things, lets you quickly shut down a lot of the services you're not using, that device doesn't need for the function, the purpose it's being implemented in the network. It enables some additional IP services to help defend the network. It's all done through CLI command, through command level input, and it also has some logging that you can turn on as well. So that's the second interesting product. And a couple of, next slide will show us, there's a couple of videos you can watch as well. Actually, there's one video of first blue line NFP's control plane versus data plane. They give an ancient soldier example, and the next line is the actual URL that goes through a little more detail on how the control plane and data plane differentiate. And again, you can pull this off the syllabus, the schedule. It's usually on Blackboard, right on in this week's module. You should be able to just click on a module, click on a link to this a video in the module itself. But if this for some reason it doesn't work, as this explanation on the bottom illustrates, you can always, you know, get it off the syllabus or the schedule and get the link.